Thanks for staying with us. It's still iBrand Daybreak, and it's time to delve into another discussion. Now, Nigeria's electoral body, INEC, has promised to ensure a level playing field for all political parties ahead of the July 16th governorship election in Osun State. With barely 3 days to the close of the campaign by political parties, the Commission's chairman, Mahmood Yakubu, said the choice of who leads the state now rests on the electorates. He said, quote, "For us in INEC, let me reassure political parties, candidates, and the electorate that the choice of who becomes the next governor of Osun State is entirely in the hands of the voters." In the same vein, Mr. Usman Al-Khali Baba, Inspector General of Police, said 21,000 police officers will be deployed for the Osun July 16th gubernatorial polls. The IGP, however, said that the deployment was not to intimidate residents, but to prevent miscreants from hijacking or disrupting the electoral process. Now, Dr. Darakade is still here with us to talk about that. And Dr. D, Osun, is here. In 2 days' time, the people will go to the polls. Are we looking at the same scenario like 2018, or it's going to be a bit different this time around in terms of how people, come out to exercise their franchise?
Yeah, definitely. Even with the election, you know that we have more people that came out to exercise their franchise.
Even though it was still relatively low.
Yeah, even though still relatively low, And even generally, we have a very high level of awareness as regards political process and all that. But my fear is the way INEC have been talking without living to its billings in terms of political discipline.
Okay.
You could recollect, someone got to Ekiti during the last election and made some statements that are highly antithetical to credible, fair, and free election in terms of vote for me and get money, vote for our party and get money. Somebody said it on air. What happened to that person? That
I
is
think
nothing.
I saw that. That was at a
Yes,
rally.
that is nothing other than inducement. Nothing other than inducement.
Quickly to chip in, you think INEC under Mahmood Yakubu's tenure or leadership from 2019 to this point is a bit of
Permissive when it comes to
or regress when you consider the Atayori Jega administration, because most Nigerians think that Atayori Jega's commission at the time did relatively well. So do you think this present INEC administration is of a lower standard?
More pride, I will not say that.
Okay.
Because there are some other areas
that has also improved
where I've given him kudos.
Okay.
Which he had tried as much as possible. But mark you, he too is a human being. But in an area that we all seen, very visible, I was expecting him to have taken some actions as regards that. Where a leading political figure, not one of those, do you understand? A leading, vote for my party and get money.
But shouldn't the EFCC, the ICPC, all of these anti-graft agencies, shouldn't they, also lift up, some form of allegations in that regard?
Exactly. But INEC is in the forefront. I will have law situation whereby INEC will raise it up. But up to today, nobody has ever spoken about it, which is very wrong. And this is a person that some people has also been asking some questions as regards when Buhari went to visit him the other time. I was talking about one particular type of vehicle, and you remember now.
But let's look at
these are issues because we all are looking for credible, fair, and an election that it will be adjudged the best. without any form of inducement.
So you think the elections under this Yakubu Mahmoud leadership have not been as credible as the previous, Atahiru Jega commission?
You see, Atahiru Jega's time was different from the present moment. Because at that time, we were still having some money to play around with. People were still able to eat. People were still able to feed. People were still being employed. Unlike now, a lot of people are not employed. Even those that are employed, they are highly underemployed in terms of no payment of salaries. So people are hungry. Not only hungry, they are also angry. All right? So it's easier now to induce people with money. But the INEC, under the leadership of Professor
Atahiru Jega.
No.
Oh, Yakubu.
Yakubu.
Yeah.
Is supposed to stand in gap for the people. Supposed to stand in gap. That, listen, you have been hungry for how many days? How many years? This day's old will still not kill you. And then by bringing to book whoever is trying to induce people with money.
Okay.
But the moment it's not doing that, then that means you're encouraging it. And when you're encouraging it, it continues to flex all around.
Okay, looking at this issue of vote buying now and making use of the Ekiti governorship polls as a premise, we used to say for certain that Osun won't, will be void rather of vote buying. It's in 2 days' time.
You are making me to laugh.
Well, it's my duty to ask the questions.
It's not going to be anything different.
Okay.
If not, that is going to be more entrenched. Because Osun is even more
competitive, close,
more complex than Ekiti. Mark you, in Ekiti, if you look at that Ekiti election, it went one way. Unlike Osun, Adeleke is there.
Yes.
Adeleke also has Davido behind him. Do you understand? Importantly again, Adeleke has gone to also increase his level of education, which was some people were using against him the other time. Even though people like Iyola Omishore, they are now with Omitola, the governor Oyetola of Osun State. But then, can you also rule out the factor of Aregbesola?
Well,
you understand? You cannot rule out the factor of Aregbesola against the governor and some other people, even as some other people there.
You remember last time out, you had Omishore play, a pivotal role in terms of ensuring that the rerun went the way of the APC at the time, because its constituency holds the bulk vote.
But really,
now it's not
that when. But
did he supposed to go towards APC?
Well,
we all knew what happened.
Well, based on official records,
the abracadabra that happened.
Based on official records, it went the way of APC, right? We'll go with what's official.
Exactly.
Now the thing is this: with Omishore as the APC national secretary, that gives them more
proof. You want to prove his mettle.
Exactly. Now you've just brought in the Aregbesola faction and factor into it.
Yeah.
If they decide to take that block vote out and pitch tents with the opposition, possibly Adeleke, what do you think the balance would be?
That I'm saying. If you see when you look at Omishore and Aregbesola in Osun, I don't think Omishore has the temerity of Aregbesola. Omishore was just brought up because of the situation.
But he was able to pull some weight in 2018.
Forget! We all knew what happened. It was not Omishore. He is an old spent, a force spent in Osun election. He's just riding on the back of a tiger that we still consume him.
Dr. Dai, let's look at the candidates. We have the Oyetola, incumbent governor.
Yes.
We have Adeleke of
Those
the
are the two
PDP.
major.
We have Yusuf Lasun of the Labour Party.
Okay, yeah, Yusuf Lasun,
Yes.
Former deputy speaker.
And then
Deputy
Omigbodu
Speaker.
of the SDP.
Say?
Omigbodu, yes, that's his name. Yeah, Omigbodu or Omigbodu Oyegoke of the SDP. Now, I watched, what's it called now, a debate where they were, all of the candidates came up to talk. But I noticed that it was majorly issue based when you talk about issues like, for instance, Yusuf Lasu was talking about agriculture, the fact that he's a farmer and he would use that, to deal with the level of poverty in the state. Do you think that something might change just in some way? I noticed Adeleke wasn't even part of the debate, but when it comes to issue-based election, we've been clamoring for issue-based election candidates who really have, viable solutions to the challenges in the country. But do you think that something might change in terms of the electorate looking out for these issues and those who have solutions?
Sorry, let me take you to another level on that, because you mentioned issue-based campaign by politicians.
Yes.
That issue they are talking about, how did they come about that issue? You know where I'm going to?
They are prevailing issues.
For instance, if I want to campaign to you now,
Okay.
is it me that's supposed to be telling you about yourself, or you telling me, oh, this is the kind of shoes I want, this is the kind of dress I want? Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
Where I'm going is this. Instead of the politicians coming up with their own issues, it is we, the people that know where the shoe pinches.
Not their own issues. Looking at the prevailing, persistent issues in the
different
country,
sectors.
and then bringing up solutions
whatever
that can
is
tackle
prevailing,
those issues.
whatever is prevailing, okay, they are there on the people. It's also the people that knows the solution to all that. I don't know whether you understand. The people themselves, listen, for instance, when you're talking of agriculture in Osun State has how many senatorial districts? 3. Like any other state. I don't want to go to local government now. Each of those 3 senatorial districts, they have their distinct peculiarities. Distinct peculiarities. So what I'm saying is, if you want to talk of issue base, you must be able to bring it down to all those distincts, all those variants, instead of you now generalizing. And it is when the people of senatorial district 1 come up with their own, senatorial district 2, senatorial district 3, that these people will now be able to aggregate them together. I don't know whether you
But in the end, you coming to fill a position, you must have some solutions or some proposals.
That's what I'm saying.
Something you want to bring to the table.
Exactly.
And that should come from addressing the issues, the prevailing issues in the country.
For that change to be effective, it has to be derived
from the people.
From somewhere. It has to be derived
You're
from
part
somewhere.
of the people. You're coming from the people to address the challenges of the people.
How many of them are coming from the people? Can you come?
Is Yusuf Lasun not coming from the people?
Yusuf Lasun, can he come from the 3 senatorial districts? He has only 1.
Yes,
the same thing with Oyebanji. He has
Dr. D, I'm not getting your point, because really, if you say someone has to come from the, can you come from the 3 senatorial districts?
And
you
that's
come from one.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You now have to come from a point of view of 1, 2, 3. You already know your senatorial district.
Maybe if you had watched the debate, you would have.
I watched it.
So you see that.
I watched it.
You see that they are not just talking about their own particular peculiar situation. They're looking at the state generally and how to address all of the issues.
You see politicians, if you understand them very well, they know how to polish their things to convince the people. And where I'm now coming from is, people should move from there and then polish their own problems for the politicians. Let us stop these politicians from sitting down in the comfort of their sitting room and drawing up a manifesto. No, we, the people, should be drawing those manifestos for them to work on. Sir, 1, 2, 3 can be, those are the things we need. These are the action plans. These are the ways to go about it. These are the periods that we are giving you to do. Are you ready or not? So that at the end of the day, we can always put them on their toes. But when we are not doing that, how will we put them on their toes?
All right, Dr. D, we have to delve into another topical issue, and of course, that's on the fuel scarcity. We'll take a break. That when we come back, we'll delve into that. Please stay with us.